Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this bright and beautiful Monday morning. While it may be a little cloudy outside, I can assure you that the sun shines ever so powerfully on today's event. Welcome, everybody, to the National Dialogue on Smart Metered India for a digitalized and people centric power sector. We're extremely excited to have among us the Honorable Cabinet Minister of Power and New and Renewable Energy, Shri R.K. Singh, and I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. India's power sector is not just the backbone of the economy, but is extremely instrumental in shaping the quality of life of everyone in this country. One of my favorite Bollywood scenes happens to be from the movie Swades, where an entire village works towards powering it. And I have very real goosebumps every time that one light bulb comes on. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because power, which was once an aspiration for most people in this country, has increasingly become everyone's reality. And while we may have come a long way, there are still miles to go before we may sleep. And the power team at CEEW walks all of those miles as it works across multiple verticals of this sector. And today's exciting dialogue brings together policymakers, industry, and experts to reflect on the challenges that exist and the opportunities that India's smart metering transition could unlock. We're also very excited to be launching two publications: Making India's Advanced Metering Infrastructure Resilient and Enabling a Consumer Centric Smart Metering Transition in India. Before we move on, a few hygiene announcements for the day. We at CEW do not encourage the use of plastic water bottles. You will find bottles of water with glasses next to them for your use. I request everyone to please keep their phones on silent to avoid disrupting the proceedings. And please feel free to reach out to any of the team members for any assistance that you may require. So, with no further ado, I'm delighted to introduce Mr. Anil Raval, the Managing Director and CEO of IntelliSmart Infrastructure Private Limited. Mr. Raval is an ex civil services officer of the 1996 batch and has more than 24 years of leadership experience across corporate and government organizations. He has been working in India's power sector for nearly 2 decades now and has been actively involved in the evolution of the public private partnership framework for power infrastructure projects in the country. Mr. Raval, can I please invite you to provide the welcome address?
Yeah, good morning. It's my actually honor to welcome Honorable Minister of Power, New and Renewable Energy, Shri R.K. Singh ji, on this national dialogue for smart metering rollout in a people-centric manner. It's my privilege to welcome respected Power Secretary Shri Alok Kumar ji and respected CMD REC Shri Vivek Devangan ji, along with my friend and CEO of CEW, Mr. Anurava Ghosh, on the dais. So we all understand that energy sector is in bit of flux for some time now across the globe, and this flux is largely caused by pandemic situations as well as the recent global macroeconomic and geopolitical situations where electricity is being seen as the key source of energy, which has to be affordable, reliable 24/7, and rest of the sources of energy are in bit of shake. And this puts extra pressure on electricity provisioning on utilities, and utilities also, particularly power utilities, have seen a bit of trouble in pandemic times when they were really struggling and coming out of the situation. They were asked to be handling electricity as a key provision. At the same time, if we see global climate change has also a bit of made the things tougher for utilities, and they are required to manage the energy transition also. Now, energy transition, which seeks renewable integration, for example, in India, about 500 gigawatt by 2030, EV mission, which is expected to be 30% of vehicles as electric vehicle by 2030. Many alternate fuels like hydrogen and many other things which are required to be managed in an energy transition are also putting some pressure on utilities. So this is a global situation, nothing unique to India. But what is unique to India? What is unique to India is the big program. That's a digitalization program at the grassroots level, and that's RDSS program, which is a revamped distribution sector scheme, which actually is targeting to roll out 250 million prepaid smart meters across the nation. This is, I would believe, this is one of the largest digitalization program ever in the globe, which will touch every citizen of this nation in a very positive manner. And that's where this program becomes very critical, because it seemed to be savior in this kind of situation where we are running through the energy transition. So, sir, this today's session is all meant to think, deliberate, that how we make this program more people centric, how we have consumer in the center of transition, how we have consumer as the center of thinking. That when we roll out this program, this is not a push based program, this is a pull based program, and how we solve the situation, how we communicate with the consumer, that it's taken as a positive program. And that's where this today's deliberation would try and think how to communicate to the consumer. And we would like to deliberate and work out some of the solutions and recommendations for the concerned departments also. And I again take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Minister, Power Secretary Saab, and CMD REC, and along with all the present dignitaries in this hall, for sparing the time. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raval. Now I'm extremely pleased to introduce Shri Vivek Kumar Devangan, Chairman and Managing Director of REC Limited. He is an IAS officer of the 1993 batch from the Manipur cadre. Mr. Devangan, can I please request you to provide the special address? Thank you.
Honorable Minister for Power, New and Renewable Energy, Shri R.K. Singh ji, respected Secretary Power, Shri Alok Kumar ji, Shri Anil Rawal, MD and CEO of IntelliSmart, Shri Arunabha Ghosh ji, CEO CEW, Ms. Chalu Agrawal, all the dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to join you all in this national conference on Smart Meter India for a digitalized and people-centric power sector. When I look back, the vision of Smart Meter India is actually a manifestation of various initiatives launched by Government of India, like Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, and it is also a natural progression after completing 100% village electrification under Din Dayal Gram Jyoti Yojana, followed by coverage of more than 2.6 crore household electrification in a record time of 18 months, which was led from the front by our Honorable Minister for Power and New Renewable Energy. Salute to you, sir. It was under your dynamic leadership that the contours of the revamped distribution sector scheme were finalized, with the objective of improvement in the quality, reliability, and affordability of power supply to consumers through a financially sustainable and operationally efficient distribution sector. The RDSS has two main components. Part A pertains to financial support for prepaid smart metering and system metering and upgradation of the distribution infrastructure. Part B of RDSS pertains to training and capacity building and other enabling and supporting activities. The RDSS has an outlay of more than 3 lakh crore over a period of 5 years up to 2025-26. The outlay includes an estimated amount of about 1,50,000 crore for installation of prepaid smart meters, which is going to be the real game changer for power sector reform. The RDSS includes a compulsory prepaid smart metering ecosystem across the distribution sector, starting from electricity feeders to the consumer level. Let me update you that so far under RDSS, 20 crore 46 lakh prepaid smart consumer meters, 54 lakh 12,000 DT meters, and about 2 lakh feeder meters have already been sanctioned in about 46 discoms across 28 states and union territories. I would like to congratulate Shri Arunabha Ghosh and Shri Anil Rawalji for organizing this timely conference when the real momentum for smart metering in India is going to pick up. I would like to congratulate the Council on Energy, Environment and Water for carrying out two comprehensive studies. The first study pertains to making India's advanced metering infrastructure resilient and analysis from a cybersecurity perspective. The second study pertains to enabling a consumer-centric smart metering transition in India. These studies would help us to formulate and adopt a people-centric approach with adequate cybersecurity protocols while implementing prepaid smart meters across the country. The smart meter implementation would support not only the improved energy efficiency but also reduce energy cost by allowing consumers to track their energy usage, which can help them make informed decisions about how to reduce consumption and save money on their bills and reduce energy wastage. Smart meters will also deliver real-time data on energy usage, allowing energy providers to better manage the grid and prevent blackouts or other disruptions resulting to improved grid stability. It will also enable consumer empowerment to control their electricity consumption based on near real-time information through mobile application, choice of tariff, reduced outages, billing accuracy, multiple payment mechanism, and opportunity to turn to prosumers with focus on sustainability and net zero future. Smart meters will also enable the consumers to become an integral part as well as an active participant in the electrical system, thereby creating a win-win proposition for both the utility and its consumers. However, there are many challenges in implementation of prepaid smart meters in India. Many consumers are unaware about the benefit of the smart meters, and this is a significant barrier to the widespread adoption of smart meters. We need to work out a practical approach while carrying out awareness campaign. Another major challenge is the high upfront cost of installing smart meters. There is no denying that we need to develop innovative financing models to make smart meters affordable to all consumers. There are significant concerns of consumers about the reliability of smart meters. We need to establish clear standards for the accuracy and reliability of smart meters and ensure that these devices meet the requisite standards. Next, we need to ensure that the data generated by the smart meter is used transparently and in the best interest of the consumers. We need to establish clear guidelines and regulations for data management and privacy to build consumer trust in the smart metering system. Consumers must also have control over their data and have the right to know how it is being used and who has access to it. Another critical challenge in the smart metering transition is the digital divide. Many consumers, especially those from low-income backgrounds and rural areas, may not have access to the internet or smartphones to access the data generated by the smart meters. To make this transition truly consumer-centric, we need to develop user-friendly interfaces that are accessible to all consumers regardless of their socioeconomic background. In order to address the various challenges and to ensure proper rollout of the prepaid smart metering, I'm happy to share with you that Ministry of Power has already formed an expert group on smart metering. This expert group is housed in REC and it has been assisting Ministry of Power through 5 verticals. The first vertical looks after standard bidding document updates, RFP, contractual aspects including deviation from the SBDs, the empanelment of advanced metering infrastructure, service providers, pricing trends, regulatory and policy issues. The second vertical pertains to energy accounting, implementation of system metering, and consumer indexing. The third vertical is about rolling out implementation of smart metering projects and supply chain management. The fourth vertical relates to IT infrastructure and communication related challenges. The fifth and the most important vertical deals with the consumer interface management, including awareness, engagement campaigns, mobile apps, training and skill development, etc. May I appeal to all the stakeholders to kindly give their valuable inputs to us for each of these verticals so that we are able to address the evolving issues for implementation of smart meters in India. To conclude, I would like to state that the smart metering transition also presents a unique opportunity to create new jobs and stimulate economic growth. The installation and maintenance of smart meters require a skilled workforce, which can be a significant source of employment. Moreover, The data generated by smart meters may enable the development of new services and applications such as energy management systems that can create new business opportunities and promote entrepreneurship. The smart meter in India presents a significant opportunity to transform the power sector and create a more sustainable and consumer-centric energy system. By working together and leveraging the latest technology, it is our collective responsibility to play our part to the best of our potential in this journey to India's self-reliance and prosperity. I wish the day-long deliberations in this national dialogue will stimulate new and innovative ideas. My best wishes to all the stakeholders. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Devangan. I am now pleased to introduce Shri Alok Kumar, Secretary of the Ministry of Power. Prior to this role, he was serving as the Principal Secretary to the State Government of UP. He was also previously the Chairman of the UP Power Transmission Corporation Limited. Sir, can I please invite you to provide the special address?
Very good morning. Honorable Union Power Minister, Shri R.K. Singh ji, Chief Guest for today's function. All the dignitaries on dais and dear participants, it's indeed a pleasure for me to be speaking to you on this occasion. We have all eagerly waiting for hearing the guidance and the vision from Honorable Minister. Let me also share, I was very carefully listening to Vivek. I think he has almost laid down the whole framework very comprehensively. So very briefly, I'd like to touch 3-4 points which are, in my understanding, are crucial to this whole program. When we were finalizing the RDSS scheme, there were two major considerations. That while we help states in improving their infrastructure, investing for loss reduction, for augmentation, we should also make distribution companies financially viable so that it is not a bottomless pit. Every time we keep on investing and they again come back that we can't maintain our system. So the core of the RDSS is not the investment, is the restoring the financial viability of the distribution utilities. What are the issues? The issues are 2-3-fold. First is the regulatory construct, the timely tariff determination, no regulatory assets, fuel cost pass-through, timely auditing and all. Those are the non-negotiable pre-qualification requirements for RDSS. So that is first important pillar. And second important pillar is hitting at the main problem of the billing efficiency and collection efficiency, because they determine funds. Once a good tariff is available, that is a separate battle zone which ministry is working with states and regulatory commissions. But given the thing that if the tariff is good, is cost effective, then what matters for restoring the viability is the billing efficiency and collection efficiency. That means they should account for the energy sold and they should collect the money for the same. So if you do that, the viability is restored. So that is the key. So for billing efficiency, collection efficiency, whatever has been done in the past has not succeeded. Government of India has funded metering in earlier schemes also in APDRP. Even DT metering was also funded. Even IPDS also funded, but things were not working. So one of the core program is the comprehensive system metering of distribution business in a manner which is sustainable, that it works. So the TOTEX mode, that is a implementation of metering in a mode that the service provider is paid on per meter per month basis, subject to the satisfactory working of meter, the smart meter. prepaid smart meter. That is at the heart of the RDSS program, because once you do that, you restore the financial viability, and then your investment goes into, and then the and the collection of tariff brings a virtuous cycle in which discoms generate sufficient revenue for maintaining the assets and for investing in the new assets. That is the core of the RDSS scheme. The smart metering is also very, very important from the consumer's perspective. If you see any consumer anywhere, the wrong billing or delayed billing are the bane. This is the main pain point for a consumer. He gets a wrong bill, or he gets a bill after 4 or 5 months, because meter reader doesn't go there. And that spoils the whole interface with the consumer. Most of the consumers are honest. They want to pay the bill in time if they're given a correct bill. So smart metering, prepaid smart metering in Totex mode is the foundation for addressing those two main pain points of the consumers, that you get a correct bill, or in a prepaid that is accounted correctly, and it is given timely. So a smart meter will enable that. And I'm very sure that will enhance the willingness to pay, which is an economic concept. If the consumer is satisfied, then he is willing to pay for the services. And once that is there, then your collection efficiency will go up and billing efficiency go up. And smart metering being, when a system metering, you will be able to also detect the high loss areas, theft detection, what is happening to in which area, the pilferages and all. So this is a revolution. I'll say there are certain reluctance in discoms. First, about the viability of the smart metering costs. But we have been in continuous dialogue with the states that experience of prepaid metering, smart metering in Bihar, UP and Manipur has demonstrated that its cost is recovered in less than 2-3 years. So it is very much profitable. But still, I think discoms need to become conveyed continuously that go forward, go fast, because as I say that we have sanctioned 20 crore and we have got 6 crore smart meter bids opened. But award is taking time. Award is only 91 lakh. So we are working with the states, because it's a new program. It's a PPP program. It's a 10-year long program. So they are taking time, but there is also inherent reluctance that has to overcome. We have taken certain steps. I will tell very briefly. A SBD is in place. We have also implemented a scheme which is popularly called test bed, so that bidders who bid in these tenders, they have the technical competence. They have demonstrated it in a government lab that they will deliver. We have also launched, Honorable Minister has launched a very consumer-friendly mobile app, which enables real-time data of the consumption, also charging the prepaid meter through internet from mobile app, and also a automatic timely reconnection once you pay the bill after the disconnection. We are also working on certain aspects like TOD tariff, which is a very good, very important benefit, because it will enable us to also pass on the benefits of cheaper solar power to the consumers. And we are also working on a template. Advisories have gone that consumers need not be penalized for if there are any past load increase than the sanctioned load. And we are also preparing rules to take care of those things about check meters and all, so that consumer is in the center of the whole this game change. Two areas which are also important to mention: the tariff reform for prepaid consumers is another thing, work in progress, which we are working, because tariff reform should be, tariff for prepaid should be simple to understand, simple to implement. Currently, tariff structure is very complex, so that is work in progress we are doing. And lastly, the energy audit of discoms. Ministries is very particular. We have brought out regulations and we are following it up, because unless until you do this energy accounting based on smart meter data, the benefits of smart meter will not flow for discom viability. And That is the key, that discom should become viable and consumers should be happy consumer. Thanks a lot. We'll be interacting continuously. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Dr. Arunabha Ghosh, the CEO of the Council on Energy, Environment and Water, to please take the stage.
Namaskar, Honorable Minister R.K. Singh ji, Alok Kumar ji, Shri Devangan ji, Shri Raval, my colleague Shalu Agarwal. Good morning. I am here to listen, and you're here to listen to Honorable Minister. So it is simply my deep privilege to introduce Honorable Minister. Shri R.K. Singh ji is the Honorable Cabinet Minister for Power, Renewable Energy in the Government of India. He's a member of the Indian Parliament for Ara from Bihar, and a former member of the Indian Administrative Services from the 1975 batch, Bihar cadre. He was previously Home Secretary of India. In September 2017, he was appointed as Minister of Power, Independent Charge in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's cabinet. In May 2019, he was appointed as Minister of State, Independent Charge of the Ministry of Power, Minister of State, Independent Charge of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and Minister of State in the Ministry of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship. And then in July 2021, he was elevated to the rank of Cabinet Minister. This is his formal introduction. But the only other way I would introduce you, sir, is that for me, you are the Minister of Speed, Scale, Smart, and Sustainable. So we are here to listen to you and how you are delivering, have already delivered, but how your vision is then unfolding in the multiple energy transitions that India is going through, from access to energy, to renewables, to the digitization, and the eventual decarbonization. So I will not take up more time. We're here to listen to you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Arunabha. Mr. Alok Kumar, Secretary, Minister of Power. Vivek, Chairman, Managing Director of REC. Mr. Raval, CMD of IntelliSmart. Shalu, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first begin by saying something which I told Arunabha while I was walking in. And that is that the CEW has been doing a great work in actually investigating issues which are of primary importance to our existence on this planet: energy, environment, and water. The reports of CEW have always been straightforward, honest, balanced. So we look at these reports with the seriousness that they deserve. And they have been of great help to us, the policymakers. Insofar as the power sector is concerned, insofar as the energy sector is concerned, or let's say the power sector, we've actually in the past 5-6 years changed the whole power sector entirely. The power sector today is totally different from what it was in 2017 or 2015, 2016. It's totally different. We've changed the way we do business. We've made things simpler. We've achieved universal access, collecting almost about 229 million homes in just about 18, 19 months. 2 crore 90 lakh homes connected, every village, every hamlet. We've added almost about 178,000 megawatts of non-fossil fuel capacity. Non-fossil fuel capacity. We've connected the whole country into one grid so that we can transfer about 112,000 megawatts from one corner of the country to another. And that means we've united the whole country into one market. So you can sell power to any corner of the country on any given day. You can generate power in any corner of the country to any given, on any, generate anywhere, sell anywhere, any game. We've changed the way that the transmission system works. You get connected to the transmission system. It's a national transmission system, which we have made it. And once you get connected to it, you can transfer your electricity to anywhere and get electricity from anywhere. And we've changed the way the power contracts were drawn up. That is still we've done a lot. We intend to do more. Earlier, the power used to be contracted for 25 years, and even if you didn't draw, you paid the fixed charges, and or the capacity was idle if you didn't draw it. Now that we have changed. If you haven't drawn, if you haven't scheduled power from the Genco with whom you have the PPA, that power can be sold to somebody else. It's very simple, really. Earlier, if you wanted connectivity, you had to specify that I want connectivity from place A to place B and place C and place D, and now you don't have to do it. You want connectivity, full stop. You get connectivity, you get connected to the net. So I mean, all aspects we have sort of addressed and changed. There are still some changes which we want to do, but already the way we work has, made us the state of the art in many fields. For example, I mean, if you apply for transmission in any of the developed countries, it will take you 2 years to get it. Here, you'll get it in 60 days, otherwise, or somebody will have to answer. The market, the price of gas went up in the developed world. So the price of wind power also went up 5 times, 6 times. No logic behind that. We've decoupled that. So it's a simple logic actually. So we said that the way the market works was working is not correct. So we have decoupled it. We have decoupled the high cost generation from the generation which is medium cost or low cost, so that the price rise in one does not affect the other. Very simple, really. So we have done many things which I'm quite sure that the world will learn from us. That's why we have brought our power sector. We have emerged as the fastest growing renewable energy capacity in the world. As I said, we already have 177 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel capacity established. I have another about 80 gigawatts under construction, and about 25 gigawatts under various stages of bid. So we continue to be the fastest growing renewable energy capacity in the world. Now, as far as digitalization is concerned, this has also been something which the government of India has been doing. And again, in digitalization, in different fields, we have emerged as a leader. For example, if you talk about digital payments, we are a leader. You can buy anything from anywhere using just your mobile. That you can't do in many developed countries. So this is the realization which has to sink in for all of us here, that we have emerged with systems which are better than systems in other countries, developed countries. And those countries will have to come and learn from us now. I mean, similarly, in energy efficiency, we have put in place programs which countries come and learn from. Like our Perform, Achieve, Trade. It's a program which many countries come and study and learn from us. Now, as far as digitalization is concerned, but incidentally, the smart metering. But incidentally, it started off with a need. Imagine connecting 2 crore 90 lakh houses, and the attendant problems of meter reading, sending the bill on time. It's a huge country. And sending the bill on time and then collecting the money on time. Imagine the problems in that. Even before that, you see, we have a large number of government-owned distribution companies. Now, unfortunately, these government-owned distribution companies were not performing well. And they didn't have, when the meter readers had retired, they didn't recruit any meter readers. So much of the meter reading and billing was being done on contract. And there were complaints galore of meters not being read, the bills being prepared on the table without actually doing meter reading, or average bills being sent for 3 months, 4 months, with the meter reading being done after 4 months. And all these areas added up and submitted as a bill. That had already started happening before we connected this 2 crore 90 lakh homes. So we needed to put in place a system which would automate all this, do away with the institution of the meter reader, plain and simple. And that's why we thought about smart prepaid metering. Now, uh, this has a number of advantages which my colleagues have pointed out. One major advantage also, which has not been pointed out, is that it reduces the financial burden of the discoms in a major way. Now, their financing for operations, the need for financing for operations just came down, is coming down, because the consumers credit their accounts in advance. So basically, for operational costs, much of the payment, is received by the discom upfront in advance. So their financing costs have come down, and that's why we are bringing down. We have put in place the regulations which will say that if you have a smart prepaid meter, your cost of electricity will come down by about 2.5%. So the consumer gains, the distribution company gains. But most important, now the billing will be accurate. The billing will be the consumer can see what he has consumed. So there'll be no complaints. He can see it on a daily basis. And of course, he can also plan, because he can see it on a daily basis. He can plan his consumption. Now we have in the works a set of rules which will make TOD compulsory for places where the smart metering has been established. So those rules are going to come out. So if you are going to consume electricity during the daylight hours or hours when there is enough renewables, your cost of electricity will be cheaper, as it should be, because renewables are cheaper. So you already see a shift in our peak hours. Our peak hours are now two. One, of course, is the evening, the traditional peak hours. The other peak hour is actually during solar hours, which suits us. And we are going to shift much more and more of the evening peak and the morning peak to the solar hours and to the wind hours. So that is something, that is another objective of this smart prepaid metering, that it makes it possible to add more renewables and to consume renewables during the renewable hours, because storage is as yet expensive. There are still some challenges to overcome. I mean, one, of course, is that the challenges of this industry itself, the smart meter industry itself is also establishing itself in our country. Now, when we started off, uh, the software was nowhere up to date. I mean, basically, you had a software which called for human intervention. I said, that's not what I want. I want something which works without human intervention, in the sense that if I pay, I mean, suppose I'm disconnected, and if I pay, my connection should come on automatically without anybody deciding anywhere that yes, now his connection needs to be switched on. It should be automatic. The system should do it. If my credit runs out, it should disconnect automatically without any human intervention. I mean, without anybody deciding that yes, now Mr. RK Singh needs to get disconnected. I don't want human intervention. Now, that is something which I keep pressing for. And that's why we introduced the test bed, to make sure that whatsoever you offer actually has these features: accuracy and the automation, so that it's not some human intervention which is liable to error. It is the system which is doing it, the digital system which is doing it, which is accurate, which works. And now I believe that we are getting it. We are getting there. Many people had qualms about transitioning from postpaid to prepaid. Even now, I hear the statement saying that some people should be allowed to continue with postpaid. I don't see any reason, frankly, any logical reason why anybody should be allowed to continue with postpaid, except those whose bills come in crores, the industry, or those they can be put a postpaid. Otherwise, prepaid, I think, is a thing to do. Have one system for everybody. That is what works. I think that that is what is acceptable. This will uh, further, I believe, uh, lead to a further digitization of the system, a further automation, and a further efficiencies. We are integrating the whole energy accounting system. Incidentally, that was another challenge which we have. We still have it. We are tackling that. Imagine you didn't have, you had feeders metered, about 95% of the feeders are metered. But as far as uh, transformer metering is concerned, only about 40%. Now, how do you have energy accounts in such a case? And if you don't have energy accounts, how do you identify that where are the areas where you have challenges? So we are putting in place, we are metering every transformer, and energy accounts have been made compulsory. And so the energy accounts have to be drawn up every quarter, every year. There will be energy audits. So now the officers also become accountable, especially in government systems. You have large number of government discounts. So the officers also need to become accountable. But now you have energy accounting, so you can pinpoint the areas of losses. And incidentally, that's not the only step which we are taking to bring down the losses. We've made everything conditional. Every accountability now pervades the whole system. And because of that, we have managed to reduce the AT&C losses by 5% in just 1 year. The last year, we reduced the AT&C losses from 22% to 17%. And the coming year, we propose to take it to about 10, 11%. So we are already viable. We are already viable. The outstanding dues of discoms have already come down, by almost about 35%. And another 5, 6 months, they'll come down further by another to almost about 20, 25% of what they were once upon a time. The whole sector has changed. The sector has become modern. It's now 42% non-fossil. Going forward, I see it becoming at least 50% non-fossil by about 2027. By 2030, it will be 65% non-fossil. Even though we are one of the lowest emitters in the world, we are one of the fastest in energy transition. We shall continue to be that way. Because I mean, this is a new India. It's a different India. We now set the trend. That's what we are. So this will continue. Thank you very much. I look forward to your questions.
Honorable Minister, I know you're short on time, but there are a lot of stakeholders here. What would you say to them? Just a couple of questions for you. What would you say to them about the indigenization of smart meter manufacturing and the value chains that we can benefit from?
I want it to be made in India, no doubt about it. Absolutely. Please do come and make it here. We'll find life much easier if you make it here. But at the same time, I must say one thing, and this is from my experience. When we started this huge push which we have given to renewables, we again said that we want to make it. Now, but what I saw in my journey, what I am seeing in my journey, because we put up barriers, therefore the manufacturers in India has hiked up their prices. Don't do it. If you do that, we'll remove the barriers. Because I'm here not for you. I'm here for the people of India. That's my only sort of thing. So that's what happened in renewables. So I removed the barrier. I said that now you compete. Ultimately, any barrier is a short-term measure. It will be a short-term measure, just to help you prevent, survive dumping efforts. Because we saw dumping efforts when we started this huge push on renewables. We experienced it, dumping by some countries. So we had to put up barriers. But once the industry sort of stands on its feet, those barriers are going to go. But we want you to make it here.
Final question before we let you go. There are many energy transitions happening, including in, say, rooftop solar, in electric vehicles, in smart meters. How do you see the consumer becoming part of this evolving power market?
We thought about it, in the government. And I think a year back, we came out with something called the rights of prosumers, rights of consumers. Now, at that point of time, nobody thought about it. I said that, the system is here for the consumers. So we've laid down the rights of consumers in the rules. And I keep, exhorting people to file complaints under that. Now, they have timelines for getting connection. They have timeline. If you have a rooftop or even otherwise, you want an electricity connection, there's a timeline. You want a rooftop installed, you want a clearance for that, there's a timeline. If anybody violates that, they'll have to pay a penalty. I want you to come forward and complain. That complaint hasn't started, rolling in as yet. We have set up mechanisms to hear your complaints. Every discom has set up mechanism. That's there in the rules. So at every division level, circle level, there is a body which with external people, so that if you file a complaint, you'll get a fair hearing, and if you deserve any compensation or penalties to be levied on the discom, it will be done. Please do so. There is a vested interest insofar as rooftop is concerned. That vested interest is a discom. I call it a vested interest because it is a vested interest. I am not here, and the system is not here for a discom. No, sorry. I'm here. The system is here for the people. So if the people want to go green, if the people want a rooftop, so that's what they will have. They have, it's the right. It's the right, and you can't put hurdles in them. There are some hurdles because of the system, which again we are changing because of the construct, the commercial construct. Now that commercial construct also we are going to change. Right now, the commercial construct of net metering is somewhat skewed in favor of the consumer and against the discom unfairly. Now, what happens is that the tariff is higher for the well-off consumers, which is that it should be, because the poorer people need a lower tariff. So that is as it should be. Now, it's the well-off consumers who are going to the rooftop. And in net metering, what happens is that they come down into a lower tariff bracket. Now, so we are going to come out with rules which will not allow you to do that. So if your tariff bracket will be determined by your total consumption, and earlier you were consuming, let's say, 500 units or 300 units with your rooftop. After that 300 units, you are getting 100 units from discom maybe, but you will be in the 300 unit bracket. That is how it will work. So we'll come out with rules. Now that will make things easier and simpler. So we are evolving, and we are changing the system as it needs to be changed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Arunabha. Can I now invite the team members to the stage to officially launch the report, please?
Just doing it faster in view of the interest of time. So, sir, there have been two innovation challenges in past, which are called Instinct 1.0 and 2.0. And in these two innovation challenges, there have been 7 challenges thrown to the startups, the students, the colleges, and the academia to solve the problems of live smart metering issues. And I want to just brief here that out of these 7 challenges, 2 have been converted into real life solutions, which are in POC in IntelliSmart. So this is the third round of innovation challenge, which we are throwing. There are 3 challenges under it. And in this process, we have reached to thousands and thousands of students and colleges and startups. And as I said, 2 are already in incubation with us. So I would request Honorable Minister to please launch so that it's a grand success for Innovation Instinct 3.0. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything, but Shalu has to come back. It's her presentation now. Oh, like that.